All sports, all play.
Oh man, what is happening?
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.
What's happening, everybody?
Yo.
We are back on Real Talk. Oh man, it's been too long. I've missed my boy. What's going on, man?
What's happening, Ray, man? How you feeling, Doug?
Oh, just another exciting day, exciting time to be alive in the great state of the United States. I got ourselves some football on tonight. It's not exactly a marquee matchup. There's some marquee ladies right there. I don't know if you saw what I just saw, but them was some ladies. But we got Pittsburgh and Indianapolis in a real shootout here at 6-0. Pittsburgh is driving. I don't really care who wins. I don't have to necessarily pick this game because they don't matter. But yeah, this is what we got. We got a packed show. Lot to get into. We had Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving came for some. Others, wasn't the best day if you were maybe a Giants fan or a Patriots fan. Excuse me. So hopefully everybody did have a happy Thanksgiving overall. Looks like we got touchdown Pittsburgh. The route is underway.
The route?
But for you do anything for Thanksgiving? Y'all go anywhere, do anything?
Pretty much stayed went to my aunt's house. This was my first Thanksgiving without my parents this year, so it was a little struggle for me. It was rough. I ain't gonna tell you. Oh man, didn't feel the same. Most definitely didn't feel the same.
Understand. Well, yeah, that's kind of one of the things, man. This time of year is a holiday season, but the holidays is different for everybody, So definitely understand that. So definitely appreciate you being with us here today, and hopefully, as time moves on, y'all can get stronger and make something new for y'all in the future. But we got some things in the past to catch up on. The first of which are the New York Giants. They have been a team that I don't know if anybody's really bought in, but we all had to admit the record was the record.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're starting to see the cream rise to the top. I am not saying the Giants are a bad team. What I'm saying is I don't know if the Giants are a really good team. And that isn't going to be good enough. Offensively, it's just been a constant struggle. It's Saquon or bust, and I just don't think that's sustainable for them. But Dallas got the dub. Unfortunately, Kenny is not with us here tonight.
Oh.
For Mr. Kenny, his Knicks currently sit outside of the playoff picture. And he had a lot to say about my Wizards who are in the playoff picture. So
my.
We're about a quarter of the way through the season, and one team is clearly better than the other. The same is true, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, peers. This guy picked the Sacramento Kings to go to the playoffs. I just want everybody to remember that. I did not pick the Lakers. I picked the Sacramento Kings and was very clear that the Lakers would have the worst record in the state of California in the NBA. So, just a quick reminder, I'm going to pop that in every so often because I'm pretty confident that it's going to be relevant for the rest of the year. So, barring a catastrophic injury, we'll see what happens. But your thoughts? Thanksgiving, Cowboys, Giants. Did it tell you anything? Do you believe the Giants are frauds? Or the Cowboys leaders for the Super Bowl? What were your takeaways?
You said the Cowboys leader of the Super Bowl. Oh, you smoke! Hey, man, drug test this man real quick. Man. We already
I'm
know.
just asking.
No, the Cowboys is not the top, but it's not on top. I had stated this on my podcast multiple times that football is really kicks in November and December. The real teams really shows out in these 2 months, and that was my big question for both New York teams, the Jets and the Giants, is can they survive in November and December when it's going to count? And
Jets were good.
the Jets there a little bit. I still got a little questions. Stay in the same boat with the Giants a little bit.
Mike Davis, who?
It's safe to say that Zach Wilson lost his job for at least another week. At least another week. He lost his job for another week. But it's most definitely going. This is the time to see, like you said, the cream of the crop. Who's the real team and who's not for real. And the Giants, I think they're gonna find a way to slide out. And I hate to say it because you're gonna start grinning from ear to ear. It seems like that boy Tyler Heineke
Taylor
is whatever his name is. At least I got the last name right. I got the last name right. The last name right, but it looks like he can lead these Commanders into the play. How? Put it like this: if the Commanders gets in the playoff, if Heineke and Geno Smith is not fighting for comeback player of the year, I don't know what are the NFL looking at, honestly, because Carson Wentz dug a big hole for y'all. I'm talking about he was just digging. He was digging since the Indianapolis, matter of fact, since Philly, that he was digging. And he wound up putting y'all in that hole. But Heineke and that defensive line is finding a way to get y'all out this hole. And and that's the surprising part that I'm seeing so far is that the Commanders. I didn't call them the Commodores. I didn't call them no name team. I didn't. They doing all right. They did fumble the ball on one thing though. They fumbled the ball on that Sean Taylor statue. Like I was all for them, but they fumbled something terrible on that. Like I don't even want to call it a statue. I want to call it they fumbled on them clothes hangers, because that's exactly what it is in that stadium. It's like, how are you going to represent that man and put his clothes on hangers? You might as well just kept it in the locker room for all that. So other than that, Commanders, I tip my hat off to you. Y'all doing things that this black and purple team is just can't seem to do. It's closed doors on games.
Dev, you said a lot. Somehow we ended up on the Commanders, so we'll talk about the Commanders.
Talk about them. I mean, the floor is yours, my man. Man, let me turn my mic off for you. The floor is yours.
There was a time that there was a guy on this show, and he had a name, and people would make fun of his name. They said his name was Ray Stradamus. And Ray Stradamus caught heat. Heat.
And this is the sad part of the show, everybody, is that when he got to talking himself in the first, second, and third person, it's just, it hurts, y'all. It hurts, but go ahead. I didn't mean to stop your shine. Go ahead.
And I said to the people in the congregation, if Taylor Heineke will start this season, we can do some things. And I got laughed. I went as far as to say Taylor Heineke is a better quarterback than Dak Prescott. And did the Cowboys shoot me down with the 6 shooters and the bullets? But here I stand. And if we were in God! If we could have been blessed to be in any other division, man. But that's not how we need it to be. We need the pressure. We need to be diamonds. Chase Young, you're on notice, buddy.
Ooh.
If you even want to think about having a Sean Taylor statue, you better get some sacks when you come back, buddy. Nothing is given. Everything will be earned. I'm just here to say they're a good team. That's all I've been saying. They're a good team. They got some skill position players. They got a quarterback with moxie. And he's going to turn the ball over probably once a game.
Yep.
He's going to overthrow 2 or 3 people. And you're going to say, what happened?
But you know one thing about Heineke? He does it early. He doesn't do none of that overthrowing interceptions late. And that's what saves him. He always throws his interceptions and stuff, no later than the third quarter. No later. You know what I mean?
And
he gets it out in the first and second quarter, and he won this game.
And the thing about that, what you just said, is it causes confidence in everybody else. As a fan of the Washington Commanders, the Washington football team, the Washington Redskins, for the last 10 to 15 years, I cannot tell you how many times we needed our defense to get a stop. And we could not get it. This team, led by that quarterback, showed up time and time again. And when they would stand up all game just to be broken down, when you finally needed them one more time, that running game has kept them fresh. That second to last drive, we ran the ball and gave our defense a break. When Atlanta was trying to take momentum, we ran the ball and we didn't stop running the ball. We don't got to overcomplicate it. We know what we do, and we got 2 other examples in our division of how you win games. You play defense, and you run the ball, and you don't turn it over.
But he showed that last night.
That's it. You have the examples right in front of you. When Daniel Jones started turning the ball over, that team didn't look so good. We've seen what Philly looks like when they turn the ball over against us. And our defense,
they had him on the ropes a little bit last night.
They did. And our defense is starting to take the ball away now. We've learned that new trick. First, it was apply pressure. But my God, we couldn't take the ball away. And now, don't nobody want to play us.
See, now that y'all kind of Well, shoot, all four of the teams in the division right now are kind of in that playoff position, right?
Literally, the NFC East has Dallas as the division winner, and the 3 wild card spots are us.
I thought Philly would be the division winner.
Oh yeah, you're right. I misspoke. Dallas Giants, then us. Still,
Wow, wow!
that is
Talk about a division takeover. Like, wow.
That is your current playoff picture, and it might not be close. If I don't have, I do have my phone.
I know y'all snuck in by beating Atlanta. Y'all
I
flipped
think
with
we're
Atlanta.
a couple games. We might be a game or two clear of whoever's even next.
I think Atlanta was behind y'all, and if Atlanta would have won, it would have been a tie. So now that Atlanta lost, they was down 1. So now they down 2, and
actually we got
Seattle was now out. So I think Seattle like a half a game behind y'all or something like that.
Yeah, Seattle 6-5. But after that, it drops to 5-7, then Detroit at 4-7. And I told y'all about it. We gonna get to it. We about to recap our division winners, and we're gonna see what's been going on. But the next game on the slate was Cleveland and Tampa Bay. Normally, at the beginning of the year, I would have said, who cares about this game? But ladies and gentlemen, I got on here, I think the last time we was on here, and I had a lot to say.
Ooh, don't bet against Tom Brady. Tom Brady this and Tom Brady that. Can't beat Tom Brady with a baseball bat. You know, all that yet you was talking. You know, carry on.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to confess. My co-hosts are conspiring against Tom Brady. My co-hosts have realized that when you bet against Tom Brady wins. So what they've done is they've just stopped betting. They ran into hiding and would not bet against Tom Brady. And thus, the Brady win has died. And it don't look good. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. It does not look good. Their saving grace is their division. Hopefully they can stay healthy.
That division is just
do.
Whack.
I have another confession to make. Actually, I'll save my confession because we're gonna get to it next.
I gave y'all my confession. I hopped off that New Orleans bandwagon as fast as I could. When I seen that, I was like, oh, they going down. They gotta go. I'm leaving that whole division. Not touching that division. Didn't want to bet against Brady. Didn't want to bet with Brady. I don't even want that division. Just is over. No team out of that division should make it. They should just go ahead and let Atlanta make it.
Yeah. It's still some time, but man, it's ugly. So my question for you is currently the Cleveland Browns are 4-7. Now, normally you would say 4-7 is terrible. 4-7, get them out of here. But 4-7 has them 2 games back in the loss column of the Chargers and Patriots.
2 teams that's up and down.
There's a new quarterback who's been activated in Cleveland. Have you been watching Amari Cooper this year? I've been watching Amari Cooper this year.
Yep. Yeah, I think Amari kind of torched us a little bit when we played Cleveland.
Mm-hmm. So the question that I ask is, can the Browns at 4-7 make the playoffs?
I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no. um, they still got another game with Cincy. Still got another game with us. Um, I just think I don't think Deshaun is enough. And what I mean by that is that the Browns have a good team on both sides of the ball. They got Myles Garrett on the other side, who can bring that pressure. Who I actually kind of picked to be defensive player of the year this year, but he didn't. He just fell off this year. He had a bad year. He's having a bad year or a down year. Um, like you just said, Amari Cooper back on the other side with Deshaun. Two dominant running backs, an old line that can block. It's like the team is there, but I just think that now you're trying to bring Deshaun in and trying to play catch up is it's just a little bit too late. Maybe if that suspension was maybe about 3 weeks less, I can be like, yeah, the Browns got a 50-50 chance. I just think they are like a 70-30 chances of them not making it. 70% of them not making it, 30% of chance of them to make it because it's any given Sunday, anything can happen. Injuries can happen, and like I keep just said that the Chargers and the Patriots are up and down team. 1 minute the Chargers is blazing hot. Justin Herbert looked like that guy that's ready for that big contract, and then the Chargers just fade away a little bit. The Patriots. 1 minute it was Mac Jones. They don't believe in Mac Jones, and it was Zappy Bailey. It was the Zappy hour. And then when he couldn't win no more games, then Mac Young came in back. Mac Jones came back. Then it was like, oh, we don't know yet. And now the last 2 weeks, the Patriots look like a contending team a little bit, a playoff team a little bit. So it's just it all depends on if the Browns can at least hide Deshaun flaws because he's going to have a lot of flaws. He haven't played in pretty much two years for real, and he's going to have some rust. He's going to miss some open throws. He's going to make some big throws. But yeah, I just think it's just too late. I just think it's just too late. That suspension really kind of messed them up a little bit. So I don't get them no playoff shot. They might come close though, but I don't think they get in.
I'm with you. I like Deshaun. I've supported Deshaun, but I don't think he can take this much time off in this different system, this different environment, and go win enough games to overcome the deficit. If he does, we might have another candidate for comeback player of the
year. Well, that's what they got. What 8 games left?
Yeah, they're
they 4-7.
So 17 games, so 6 games left.
6 games, so 10-7. It's not a bad record. You know what I mean? You get yourself out that basement level. At least you're not down there with Pittsburgh all the way.
There might be if Pittsburgh keep this up, they're gonna be tied. But yeah, I just think it's a lot to. It's an uphill battle. I think the win is that they'll get time to gel, so they'll get time to play in the system. Hopefully, they don't fire the coach in the offseason. They'll get a chance to start getting some real game reps.
There is the coach in the hot seat, though.
I know.
There is the coach in the hot seat.
So hopefully they take care of all that, and next year they'll hit the ground running, build some momentum this year, come back ready. Hopefully,
yeah, because they most definitely gonna have to trade Kareem Hunt also, because he kind of won out. He kind of want to be that starting back again. So hopefully you can get some trade collateral from him and build from whatever from that. Like I said, the Browns got a good team. They have a playoff fighting chance team. Let me say that. I don't give them a full playoff team yet because it was some games that the Browns just didn't look like they showed up on Sundays. You know what I mean? And Jacoby Brissett most definitely didn't live up to that backup role everybody was hyping him up to be. So they got some things to work with. At least Amari Cooper showed up this year because Dallas most definitely got rid of him and had no faith in him. And for him to have a season that he's having with Brissett, we could build off of that.
Yeah. Just a quick update. I was scrolling here, and I don't know if you saw, but it looks like not Amari Cooper, Carl Anthony Towns. Actually, they're in DC tonight. He suffered a non-contact injury and was helped carried to the locker room. Not gonna lie to y'all, it does not look good. He was just running up the court and does like this jump kick, like somebody just kicked him, and he grabs his like calf area. So,
ooh, that's normally
yeah,
Achilles injury sometimes.
I didn't want to say it, but yeah.
Ooh, yeah. I had hoop with a dude before. He popped this Achilles before. He thought I actually kicked him. Like he looked back at me with the mean mug. I was like, "Why you kick me?" And like, I guess once his adrenaline, slowed down, he just dropped. I was like, "Dang, you all right?" And he just saying like, "Man, the back of my calf and foot area is on fire." I said, "On fire?" Like explain that. It's like I'm looking at it. No flames here, buddy.
Oh man, that's not funny.
It's not funny, but it caught me by surprise. I was like, "Oh, fire!" Like, wow. Like I would have never thought an Achilles injury would feel like that. Like on fire. That's the first thing you can think of. Like, how would your foot feel on fire before?
No, I'm with you on that. That's funny. But yeah, it's not funny, but you know what I mean. So we'll keep it moving to. I told y'all earlier I had some concerns and some confessions. I got two. My first confession is really dear to my heart, but wow, Kenny Pickens missed a wide open George Pickens for the touchdown on 3rd and goal. Brutal miss. That was Heineke-esque. He does that sometimes. What a route, wide open, and he just flat out missed it. But Baker Mayfield. I have been a fan, a supporter.
Baker Mayfield?
But I got to tell you, I don't know if we're going to see Baker Mayfield start another game in the NFL. I realize he hasn't had the most ideal situation in Carolina, but I just don't know.
Nah, Baker. He almost done. He would be a backup because he can take on that.
He'll give you the flashes.
Yeah, what's that quarterback that the Steelers got? They started off with him in the beginning of the year. Trubisky.
Yeah, Mitch Trubisky.
He might can pull up Mitch Trubisky, go hard under a good quarterback that he can learn from and have one more opportunity. But as far as right now, the way quarterbacks move around the NFL, boy, if you ain't available, if you ain't catch on in the first 2-3 years, then you might be a lost cause.
We agree. I don't know. He just hasn't got it done. That's just what it comes down to. He's had opportunities. He's had some success. But he and Let's Ride Russell Wilson, that game was a joke. Mr. Let's Ride. Man.
We've been tricked. We've been backstabbed. And we've been quite possibly bamboozled.
What Russell Wilson has pulled off is money heist level robbery. This plain jogging, 4 o'clock managing, second suite at the stadium having quarterback has been god awful. I don't know if we've seen another year where we have had as catastrophic a fall from grace from top tier quarterbacks in one season. What I've watched out of Matt Ryan, Matt Stafford, Jared Goff, Carson Wentz, Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, and way too often even Tom Brady and Derek Carr.
You might as well just go ahead and name all the quarterbacks in the NFL right now, because it's honestly, there's only one quarterback that's just playing MVP
I'm talking.
level.
These were Hall of Fame talent quarterbacks last year.
Oh, okay. I'm with you.
In a single season, outside of maybe Jared Goff, these guys just forgot how to play the position. And the only thing that I can say that most of them have in common, they don't have a number one. And outside of that, I have no idea why the rest of them have fallen off this cliff.
Hold on. We got to take off some names about the number ones. We got to take Derek Carr. He has a number one.
Carr and Brady, who got a number one?
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, Stafford, he's had Cup most of the year, but now Cup's gone, and that offense and the running back.
That team fell apart after week one. After week one, that team could never get itself back. They was living off the last year hype.
So I mean, it's just been wild to see, and I think that makes next year super interesting because there should be quarterback fights everywhere.
It will be.
Who would have imagined that Geno Smith's job would be safer than Aaron Rodgers,
right?
Or Derek Carr, or God forbid a first round exit, Kirk Cousins. Like, what kind of mind warp are we living in? Where most every black quarterback is on solid ground and a whole bunch of white ones might not have jobs. Outside of Kyler Murray, who I have no doubt would go get a job tomorrow if he got released. The black quarterbacks is all right. We good in those spots.
Was there any doubt?
Huh?
Was there any doubt?
Not for me. And I still think Malik Willis and Trey Lance can play.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to see a whole year Trey Lance. That's the guy I wanted to see this 49ers offense go under. What, Christian McCaffrey and Debo and Uchek and Kittle. It was no way Shorty could have failed this year. All he had to do was just either drop back, hand off, or drop back and let it go.
You're right.
But yeah, I see the quarterback that's really got me puzzled this year with a drop off is Derek Carr. Derek Carr is I can clearly have this conversation. Me, you, Chris, and Kenny. We was all here trying to figure out what team has the best quarterback, running back, wide receiver combo. And I remember me and you was going back and forth between Minnesota and Las Vegas. And you was like, man, Devontae Adams changed the game now. And Derek Carr game about to be up here. And I'm looking like, yeah, I see it. I believe it a little bit, but I'm going with the team that's steady. And the team that ain't getting no hype for real is the team that's steady. And that's the Vikings. You know what I mean? They were on a 7-game win streak. Then they lost to Dallas. But then now they back on a win streak all over again. So most definitely Las Vegas. They lost my picks and votes this year because I honestly thought with Josh Jacobs now they want to use Josh Jacobs all of a sudden, but in the beginning of the season they didn't want to use him. They kept trying to force feed Devontae Adams.
Who told y'all Josh Jacobs was a dog earlier in the
We
year?
all said that. We all agreed.
Y'all was trying to talk about Josh Jacobs like he wasn't one of them ones.
No, it had to be Kenny. I said Josh Jacobs is a dog. And the only thing I'm mad about the Raiders, they don't use him enough. So he should be 1,000-yard back each year.
All I know is I was only saying Josh Jacobs was that dude, and they always saying he wasn't. Well, I had to try and convince y'all. But that's all right.
Yeah, no. We can roll the tape back. I was with you on that one. I just didn't agree with you as I was taking Minnesota over top of Las Vegas. That was the only thing I was taking away from that whole argument. But Josh Jacobs, he most definitely playing with his money.
Because Kenny don't like young athletes. He only like the old ones.
No, he likes Saquon a little bit. Remember, he thought Saquon was going to be the leader rusher this year.
He did. Talking crazy. Shout out to Jeff Saturday, doing the best he can in a crazy situation. We ain't really get a chance to cover that. That came out of nowhere, but he got him playing competent football, so I can't really say nothing about it. Like they don't look ill prepared. They ain't making a bunch of terrible mistakes.
I don't know.
Not a good team.
You watch Joy Taylor and her show. I can't think of the show that she's on now with Shady and I can't think of the show.
Joy Taylor has a show on FS1.
Yeah, it's her, LaShawn McCoy.
He hitting that.
Oh. It's like two or three other ones. They all on there. And Joy, hold on, I still got the little clip of her going off, and she made some very strong, valid points about these next coaches that's coming through the pipeline, and for females also putting that bid in for coaches. Hold on real quick. Let me find the clip real quick because she was speaking the truth. Here you go, right here.
If you don't understand why people were outraged, just say that and be quiet. Because whether Jeff Saturday is successful or not does not diminish the fact that the way he got this job was ridiculous and embarrassing and disrespectful to everyone else in the organization. Everyone doesn't feel great about this hire in the organization. What it says to everyone around the NFL, by the way, not just in-house, is that your hard work doesn't matter. What you put in doesn't matter. You could show up every day. You could get here early. You could leave late. You could put in years, blood, sweat, and tears. And if I have a better relationship with this guy, he's going to get the job over you. Remember that. And believe me, that message is received when you do things like this. So it's not about if Jeff Saturday wins a game over the Raiders or not. It's about the message that you send about hard work and how it pays off in your organization. And good people that have options don't go to organizations like that because they want to know they have upward mobility. They want to know that their hard work is going to be rewarded and respected. And what the Colts did, said, hard work doesn't matter, honey. Relationships do. Sorry about it. And everyone's doubling down on it now. And remember, since we're doing receipts, I'm going to keep those too. Because if you don't have to have requirements, if you don't have to have a resume to get a job, keep that same energy the next time a black coach is up for a job. I don't want to hear a word about what experience he has. What does he call in plays? Jeff Saturday sure wasn't calling no plays. He made that very clear. I am delegating all responsibility except for cheers and motivational speeches to everyone on this staff. So keep that same energy about calling plays. And here's my favorite part about this while I'm ranting. Keeping receipts. The next time a woman's up for a job, I don't want to hear about the experience that she needs to have it. Because I already know she's excellent if she's getting the interview in the first place. So all you are loud and tweeting and celebrating this whole thing and celebrating the fact that you don't need certain kind of accomplishments or resume to get a job, keep that same energy, please. But if
like she went up, like, and she made some valid points, because it was a plethora of head coaches or coaches out here that maybe could have been considered. We had the Chiefs coach, Eric Bellamy. He's been always in the news, but he never goes to an interview or anything of that nature. Brian Flores, was looking for a head coaching job. Nobody wanted to take him, but the Steelers took him as one of their linebackers coach. And just like she said, females now. It's like now you can no longer say that we don't agree with your method, or we don't think that you're a good head coach or anything of that nature, because you clearly just said that Jeff Saturday is not a coaching guy. He's just a motivator. He has personal relationship with the owners. He's able to go in and out the locker rooms as pleased before he was a head coach and all that stuff. So it was like, I understand Joy when she was ranting, and the name of that show is called Speak On. So yeah, that was how Joey felt. That's how I kind of felt in the beginning. When I heard Jeff Saturday got the job, I was like, dang, nobody in that coach industry, nobody, no assistant coach, no athletic trainer, nobody was able enough to say, you know what, you worked hard, you've been here for years, and all this stuff. We're going to let you have this job for the remainder of the year. You went on the outside, called ESPN, and said, hey, Jeff Saturday contract. What's up with that contract? We want to give him a job, not interview for a job. We want to give him a job. Like, whew. That's the only thing I didn't agree with the coach on.
So I have a lot of thoughts. I'll start here. Joy. That's how the world works. Like, I don't know what circle she's in. That networking's a huge thing for a reason. The other part that I think she and a lot of people are missing here, this is an interim coaching position.
Right. He still got an interview for like next year. Well, he got to throw his name in the ring, not interview.
When you fire a coach mid-season, you almost never go get a big name. You usually promote from within. For whatever reason, they didn't feel like that was the best option, which is their right. I could see if Jeff Saturday was Ryan Leaf. I could see if Jeff Saturday.
Hold on, what's wrong with Ryan Leaf?
He sucked at his job. I just talked to y'all about Taylor Heineke and the energy that he brings to his team. We're watching with the energy in Detroit and what that brings. You talk about the energy that Pete Carroll brings.
Yeah.
Jeff Saturday is clear. I know I don't know the X's and O's, but I do know what I do know. And what I do know, I'm good at. So I'm going to use the people in position so that when we're successful, Joy, I won't get most of the credit. Like, I don't get this outrage. They were supposed to go hire a woman in an interim coaching job? From where? Since when? Eric Bieniemy and others, like, you think they're going to leave mid-season to go take another job mid-season with no, like, so?
I think my only thing about that is I don't think they had full belief in Frank Reich in the beginning of the season. that was like my. I think that was my only thing. You know what I mean? It was like if you didn't believe in the beginning, then why you let him go through training camp, OTAs, and all that stuff?
I would much rather you give him a chance. Maybe he proves you wrong. Maybe you end up like Seattle.
Yeah, but the thing about it, they believe in Pete Carroll. You know what I mean? It didn't matter about that up and down season.
Coming into this year, they were saying blow it up. Pete need to go. He's too old. I think he's the oldest coach in the league.
Yeah, I think he. Yeah, I think he fall in that category.
So it's just a matter of if you perform and if you produce or not.
Well, we all see that wasn't Pete Carroll's fault. They was having a downfall.
It may not be his fault, but what is this? Are we saying this is a good team, right? As it's currently constructed with Ellinger and Ryan at quarterback? No. So we get mad when they give the bad jobs to the minorities. And now we get mad when they give it to someone as an interim role. Now, he's building his resume. If he has a decent year, then he can interview at the end of the year, like all the other coaches. Like, because it's an interim job, I don't get the outrage. If this was off season, I'm with y'all all the way. 100%. That's crazy. But it's an interim job. Like, he got to prove it. And yes, it's an opportunity, but his play on the field is what afforded him this opportunity. The relationships he's built afforded him this opportunity. You don't think
but then,
a legend
you
in
say
that
for a lot of players, though. There's a lot of just to say.
I could see if he went to the Raiders, he went home.
So
he went to Indy.
What if Peyton Manning decided, like, you know what? Or what if they did give Peyton Manning a call? And
John Elway been calling the plays in Denver trying to pick quarterbacks for 15 years and hadn't got fired. Why they give him so much LaRoe?
That part, because the relationship he had with Denver.
Thank you.
You know what I mean?
If you think if it was Peyton Manning instead of Jeff Saturday, this response would be the same?
Oh no, the response would be the same.
No,
but
no.
I to an extent, because we all gonna still be looking like what coaching abilities that. Now I understand that Peyton Manning, he could probably give you better X's and O's than Jeff Saturday.
Jeff Saturday's the center.
You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure that can happen. But at the same time, but it's like he has no resume. You know what I mean? That's just my point. I understand, like, you are to pick whoever you that's your God-given right. It's to pick whoever it is you feel that can lead your team for the rest of the, you know what I mean? That when you're a billionaire or a millionaire, you can do things like that. You know what I mean? It was just my only fight is just, I just believe that it was coaches inside that locker room, you know what I mean, who's probably then waited their turn or is still waiting their turn. That I'm pretty sure if you're just gonna let somebody run the team for the rest of the year, I would pick somebody. I would hire within. Like I said, I'm not fully against the Jeff Saturday, because you know what I mean. However you get your opportunity, and when that opportunity not, I'm pretty sure everybody would have answered. Doesn't matter if me and you had that opportunity. If that opportunity would have not, we probably would have been like, you know what? I'm not waiting in line no more. I'm gonna go ahead and take my opportunity now. You know, and that's with anybody. So I'm not knocking Jeff Saturday about that. I just feel like within that organization, if you didn't, number one, if you didn't fully believe in Frank Reich in the beginning of the year, why go ahead and let him go through OTAs and stuff like that? Because it sounded like they had their downplays at the end of last season. And to your point, like you said, they probably wanted him to see if he can prove us wrong. I get that part. But like I said, I just think that if you're gonna go within or stay in that organization, I just think you should have went to an assistant coach that's already been with the players all year long. You know what I mean? I understand Jeff Saturday, he got the green light pass. He could probably go many in and out as many times as he pleased. But I just feel like you skipped over assistant coach. You know what I mean? Now, if them assistant coaches turned it down and said no, 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 and then they went to Jeff Saturday, then I have no complaints then.
Well,
But if
we
they
know they ain't turning it down.
right, so that's why I said I just feel like if you're gonna give an opportunity, um, if you're gonna give Jeff Saturday an opportunity, why you not just try to give him a full year underneath his belt and not just trying to pick up some pieces? And then if you're going to have somebody pick up the pieces, I just feel like somebody that's been there all year dealing with the players and stuff should have got the interim job. That's my only fight. You know what I mean? What Joy went on and rapped on about, about the females and the resumes and stuff like that. Like I could see her point, but to your point, like you said, it's an interim coach. It's not saying that this is his job for the next 5 to 10 years or however long a coach's contract is.
They gave Matt Rule like $60 million for Temple. Like,
um,
don't
I don't.
talk to me about bad coaching hires.
Carolina would just own that yeah when he did that pick, did that
They was
move.
on that ooh wee
Yep.
talking crazy, but yeah, that's interesting. Looks like I the lost Dev, so I'll keep it moving. Drive this bad boy till he gets back. The next game we were going to get into. Oh, he's back already because we need him for this. Oh, I'm so glad because the next topic.
I don't know what happened.
You knew what we was about to get into when you was about to run.
Oh no, I got my sound effects for this already. I already know where we going at, ladies and gentlemen. This is the crying moment of Dev right here. Y'all already know. If y'all don't hear the sniffling, I've been trying to hold my tears back all day long. Let me tell you how I sounded yesterday when Jacksonville won. I was hurt. Another double-digit lead has been blown again, ladies and gentlemen. My gosh, Ravens flock, please sit down because there's no reason for us to stand this week. This week, we have been uprooted by a Jacksonville Jaguar team who we've been talking about all through this year, saying that these guys cannot find a way to close out games. These guys are too young. Oh, they just too immature. Oh, Doug Peterson just need another year with Trevor Lawson. The Jaguars is just going to just shock everybody. No, ladies and gentlemen, the Jaguars shocked the Baltimore Ravens. And if y'all just realize, y'all, I didn't even say Baltimore. I had to just say Baltimore Ravens because the way we played yesterday, they don't even deserve to hear our lingo from us right now, man. It's no way in. I don't know if I can say this or not, but it's no way in heck that we should have lost to the Jacksonville Jaguars yesterday. We had the Jaguars did the rights. We had the cat skin. We was getting ready to put them up on the fire pit, and we was going to have some barbecue Jaguar before we left down Jacksonville yesterday. But somehow that pesky cat escaped again. Gets out, gets loose, and he had himself some chicken wings. You know what I mean? He ate. Let me just say this one thing, man. Marcus Peters, you are killing us. You are killing us, dog. This is just like they went at you twice. They seen something. I think they started to see that ACL injury had took away a step from you because you is just they just picked on you all as soon as Marlon Humphrey left the game. They said no, don't go at Stevens. We already know he's going to get a PI call every time. Let's go ahead and pick on Peters. He's their pro corner. He's their Pro Bowl corner, and he had an ACL. Pick on him, and he got picked on. Now, I have a beef with the NFL. These catches, I swear, every time that a catch is being created now, It's wound up being a new rule. It used to be you had to automatically have 2 feet down. Then it was a 2 feet. Then the knee is considered to have 2 feet. Then it's a 1 foot. Then in a thigh that can be considered as 2 feet. Now we are having a 1 foot and a shin that touches the same exact time as his thigh touches out of bounds as a catch. NFL, we must do better with what's a catch and what's not a catch. In my opinion, I believe that's not a catch. It's just like, how can your shin and your thigh hit at the same time and we still count it? You know, Calvin Johnson came down and put the ball on the ground, and they said incomplete pass. Dez Bryant went stumbling into the end zone, and they said incomplete pass. But they didn't want to give us an incomplete pass yesterday. And not to mention my man Gus Edwards fumbled on the time where it was ground and pound time, where it was time to draw out the clock. The Jaguars was going to burn up their timeouts, and the game was going to be over. The game was over. So we shot ourselves in the foot. Too many turnovers, too many red zone presence, not enough touchdowns. In these last 6 quarters, we had 8 red zone trips, 4 of them field goals, 1 a touchdown. And that's not going to get the job done. So once again, y'all, my Ravens, we need
some milk.
That guy's very.
That's a good video. That's a good video. So here we are again, ladies and gentlemen. I'm starting to believe that the Ravens are who we thought they were. And I've been saying all off season, I see the stats, but can Lamar win the big games? If I'm going to pay him that much money, can he win me the big games? And what I've seen time and time again this year, not only does he not win me those games, he's up in those games and he's losing those games. He also had a fumble. That's just not good enough. And I don't want to hear any excuses. Mark Andrews is plenty good enough. Gus
Andrews dropped the dead. He dropped the touchdown pass yesterday. Man, we left 16 points on that field yesterday. 16 points.
And I get it. But this is just not good enough. The talent's there, but they got to put it together from start to finish. I don't know if it's lapses in judgment, which I would put more on coaching. I don't know where the failure to execute. I don't know if the play calling is getting super scaled back, but I've seen Lamar close games running the ball too.
Man, there's a lot dealing with, because number one, Lamar needs to get the damn play in and out the huddle. It shouldn't be the whole first half that we only got 5 seconds to snap the ball. That is impossible. That is OTA stuff. That stuff you figure out in the OTAs. You don't even carry that in training camp, because you automatically know that you have 30 seconds from that time that is incomplete or complete pass. When the play is over, you have 30 seconds to get in a huddle and get your play in. I'm not understanding what is so hard. Like, we've been doing. I even know this, and I've been playing since Pop Warner. And I knew you got 30 seconds to get the play in, hike the ball, and play some damn offense. It's killing us. Kansas City I hate to keep bringing them up, but Kansas City is going to be the team that capitalizes off of stuff like that. Because right now in the AFC, Kansas City is the clear-cut team in the AFC, hands down right now. You know what I mean? And then about 2 steps behind them is Miami.
You got Miami jumping Buffalo.
Right now, yeah. Buffalo is just shaky. Josh Allen, for the guy who I chose to be MVP, it's looking shaky this year. And now don't get me wrong, the elbow injury, if that's bothering them, I get it, because that's a ligament that you shouldn't be throwing on. You know what I mean? But he having some uncharacteristic interceptions this year. And it just be like, you be looking like, yo, you supposed to did that year 1. Like, why is you throwing this ball now in year 4 and 5?
Yeah. Quick question off of that. Better division. NFC East or AFC East?
NFC right now.
Even
NFC.
with the Bills, Dolphins, Jets, and Patriots?
Consistency. That's all I see in the NFC East is consistency. Everybody know.
We got
everybody,
the Eagles ahead of the Dolphins.
The Eagles, yeah. Right now, because what the Eagles showing me, it doesn't matter who they play, they always find a way to get themselves out of danger. You know what I mean? They might get down, they might pull out a 1-point game here and there, but at least they show me that when it's time to get dirty in the crunch time, that they is able to get it out the mud. So that's why I still keep Philly up there. Kansas City, they just ain't skip a beat. It's just like, it doesn't matter who their wide receiver is, they ain't skipping the beat. Nobody understands that Travis Kelce is 7-Eleven. It's like he's always open. Juju haven't really played all year, but he was starting to become a big factor. Tooney hasn't even really put his imprint on his offense yet, so that's even more scary. So Kansas City right now, it goes Kansas City, Philly, Miami. I guess Minnesota. We could throw Minnesota in that mix right now because, like I said, they was on a 7-game win streak and then they lost one. Now they back on, on their winning slide again. So Minnesota is a team that kind of be a little scary about.
Okay. So my top 3 is a little different. Man.
It's like after those 4 teams, boy, it's just like everybody's in. It's like tier 1 and then tier 2. Like that tier 2 is just so much congested. It got the Bills, the Ravens, the Chargers, the Patriots, who else? Cowboys. I guess you could say the Giants is still in that mix. The Jets is still in that mix. Like, but they slide to tier 3 though. I can tell you that right now. They keep losing. They gonna be in tier 3 soon. I think I had something about the tiers.
I'm gonna go KC.
Okay.
Miami. Philly. And I ain't gonna lie to you. I like Miami better, but I don't trust Tua. I know what he's doing. I'm watching it happen, and I'm happy for him.
Right.
But you got to show me in the big moments you can still do that.
I'm with you. Okay. Oh, man. There was something about these tier playoff teams. I can't remember who put it out. I can't remember Bleacher Report or if it was Sideline Source. I'll find it now.
Well, I got a sideline source for you.
Uh-uh.
Over this lovely Thanksgiving holiday weekend, where we as a country celebrate the freedom that we gave to the Native Americans. We freed them from their own lands and helped usher them to new lands. And another gentleman was present at a school where some people were being ushered into some new lands. And he didn't want them to be there. For many people in this country, this is all too familiar. The integration of our schools wasn't that long ago. Many American citizens today witnessed the integration of their schools. As we look around today, and politician after politician is trying to strike down critical race theory and teaching the truths and history of this country, we have the owner of the most valuable franchise in the entire world standing in opposition to the integration of schools. And I heard little to nothing about it. Here's what I will follow up and say.
What owner was that?
Oh, you didn't hear about this?
That's why my face a little frowned up. Like,
whoa. Ow, let me pump the brakes.
yeah, scared. Hold up. Like, you saying the owner? I'm looking like, hold on. Is he gonna say the owner name? Like, I got a feeling I know what owner this is gonna be about. But
yeah, let me do something here. A little wop wobbaloo bop a wop bamboo. Let me see what I got. There's some noise. Okay. It has sent. I am ready here, and I am going to show the world what I am talking about and get my man Dev caught up so that we can properly dissect this topic. I really wish my man Kenny was here because I value his wisdom, his knowledge, and insight. And ladies and gentlemen,
yep, just who I knew it.
what you are looking at is a photo of a man, Jerry Wayne Jones. And the more troubling issue for me, not only the lack of media coverage, which is par for the course, what I found most reprehensible was his reaction. And I will see if I can find that for you, because it did not speak of a man that showed much conviction, showed much remorse. Honestly, I thought it was an awful response. And give me just a minute. I can't find the response.
Just knew it. Just knew it.
But I'm going to read you something that troubled me. The great Stephen A. Smith, in response to this, said, born and raised in the South, and we going to pick it up 66 years later to say, you know, something you ain't hire a black coach. I think that's pretty low. If he was an adult, that would be different. Jerry Jones said, nobody there had any idea, frankly, what was going to take place. You didn't. We didn't have all the last 70 years of reference and all the things that were going. You didn't have a reference point there. But still, I've got a habit of sticking this nose right place at the wrong time. I have watched the media destroy black men in recent history for very simple mistakes. And this grace that continues to get extended to others by black media is discouraging and appalling. If you want to say, oh, he was a kid, cool. We try young black men as adults in this country. They don't get to say, oh, I was a child. That choice is taken from them and made for them. So to all the parents of children who have had their children tried as an adult, them being a child is not an excuse. This wasn't a toddler. This was a high school kid who made a decision to go stand opposed to these black children. And that's just okay. Because if you were raised in the South and you were raised a racist, it's okay. So to any person in the South, any child that took place in a lynching, it's okay. Because you were a child and you didn't know any better. That's the message that we're sending Joy Taylor. That's the bigger message for me. That if you're a kid, it's okay to be racist. And God forbid you dig up a picture of me doing something racist. If those kids weren't walking into a school, but rather hanging from a tree, would you still feel the same way? He was just being curious. He didn't know why he was there. The more and more I watch this media and this world and these people, it's just sick. And I'm sick and tired of it. I'm so annoyed by it. And then all the other people, oh, Harry was good to me. Yeah, you helped create the most valuable franchise in the history of the world. Why wouldn't he help you? Help him. We remember how he spoke about players kneeling. We just sweep that under the rug too. Stephen A. just conveniently threw away the fact you've never had a black head coach. All them black players you take care of, and not once did you think they deserve or should have a black head coach? Y'all are clowns. And it's sad to me. But it's just another reminder of why I need to be here. Because there's a bunch of cowards that won't. Now that you've heard, Dev, your thoughts. Am I overreacting? Is this not a big deal? Is this just the way it is because he's from Arkansas and this is what we should expect?
It's a shame that we got to expect this. You know what I mean? It's just a shame. No, you're not wrong. I done said it over 1,000 times now that I am not nowhere near shape or form a Jerry Jones fan. I don't believe anything that Jerry Jones do is genuine, sincere, anything in that nature. I just think Jerry Jones is all about himself and only about himself and only cares about himself. All those, when it comes to Jerry Jones and racist stuff, I tunes him out. I almost did with I was doing with Trump. I tune him out when he says certain stuff because I just know that it's going to be something that I don't like. I just know it is. And Jerry Jones is somebody I don't like just by the just just by his demeanor, man. Not like I said, nothing from Jerry Jones feel like it's genuine or it just seems that I hate to say this. The Cowboys fans, the Cowboys, that franchise is cursed until Jerry Jones is no longer a part of that franchise. I believe that Jerry Jones sold his soul to the devil just to get those Super Bowls in the 90s. I believe Jerry Jones and did some things that I guarantee you that's why and when him and Snyder was going back and forth and he was like, "Oh no, don't come out with the skeletons in the closet type deal." It's like we all know that Jerry Jones probably has 2 closet fulls of skeletons of stuff that he has no business doing. And until he's no longer has the position of power, which he's pretty much going to have for the rest of his life, I just don't follow anything that's like one of the reasons why I'm not a Cowboys fan. That's why I don't really pay attention to the Cowboys, all because of Jerry Jones. I just think the things that I want to say, I just can't say right now, man. But it just I don't expect nothing from Jerry Jones, but some ignorant, uneducated stuff out of his mouth. And then for Stephen A. to ride his coattail, uh, Stephen A. He's a hit or miss for me. You know what I mean? I hear him; he makes some good, valid points at times, but it's Stephen A. is just like, Doug, why? How do you get here? You know what I mean? I understand you probably did your report and stuff for years, but I really believe that Stephen A. is almost that type of guy that he almost might have sold his soul to get where he at.
Yeah, I don't disagree. Which brings me to another disappointment that you referenced earlier. And if there was never a time for this statement to ring true, this Sunday it rang true. Dan Snyder needs to sell the Washington Commanders.
Get rid of him, coach. Get rid of him.
Why are you this miserable? They have been disrespecting Sean Taylor's legacy since that man died. They refuse to do right by him. And it shows they've used them for PR stunts to draw away bad publicity. And I am so sick of this owner making our franchise look like jokes. It's one thing to put a bad product on the field. It's one thing to overpay. It's one thing to swing and miss in the draft. It's one thing to hire a coach that's past his prime. It is entirely something else when you don't know how to honor your legends. When you can't provide a decent working environment. You don't have that many great legends from a global standpoint or a national standpoint. He's one of the few that's relevant to the younger generation. And at every turn, you find a way to disrespect him and make yourselves look like trash. I'm just appalled. I was disgusted, appalled, shocked. That was a joke. And the same thing like Balenciaga that had a bunch of people that signed off. Who the heck signed off on that? That was a joke. That was shameful. And they need to release an apology. If Kim Kardashian got to apologize, Daniel Snyder need to apologize. Because that was ridiculous.
I'm with you on that one, man. It's just like the Washington franchise. Important players has been black. Daryl Green should have a statue down there. And now Daryl Green for the older generation and Sean Taylor for the newer generation. Those two people right there. So most definitely, hands down, have a statue down there. Hands down. One brought you a Super Bowl, and one was on the cusp of being the greatest safety of all time. Like, you can just see it from the time he left the U. From the time y'all drafted, it was just like he ain't skip a beat. It was just like at first he had bricks for hands. He was a hitter. He just had bricks for hands. But then the next offseason, he showed that up. He came back that following season, was in the top 5 in interceptions. This guy had made punters not to punt in the Pro Bowl no more. This guy had punters to even think about fake punts anymore. This guy single-handedly went up in Seattle and brought Washington out that hole that they was in and got that playoff win. Because y'all had bad quarterback play. I think y'all quarterback was Jason Campbell at the time. You know what I mean? It was like, dog, it was like, you cannot just get that man a closed hangers in the middle of the damn stadium and say, this is our statue. It was, when I seen that broke my heart. And I was a big Sean Taylor fan. I was a big fan. That broke my heart to sit there and see, like, yo, your beloved team that drafted you. This team called your family up from Florida to come to DC because they was revealing your statue today. And they just gave you damn clothes hangers. Your jersey on hang. I was so heartbroken. I was like, yo, that is the most disrespect right there. That is disrespect, man, because you can't do that, man. Like, you just couldn't. There was no reason to call his family up from Florida just for some hangers in the middle of the arena. It's like, no way, man. You had to honor that man way better than that. Way better. You at least could have made it Sean Taylor Day. You could have had the Commanders defense come out with only 10 players. You could have had every player wear 21. You could have did so many other things. But you just gave that man some hangers and put him in the middle of the daggone arena. It's just like, that was slap in the face. Dan Snyder should be ashamed of that, man. That's no way you treat your big time players, man. Your alumni players. Let me say that. Because if Sean Taylor was alive, man, he was able to still put up more stats and years with your team, and he would have retired as a Washington Redskin commander. If that was the way y'all was going to honor him going to the Hall of Fame or anything, if that's it, boy, woo! Y'all, if I'm any active player that's in the Washington and I'm thinking to go Hall of Fame or putting up big numbers, you see how they do Sean Taylor and Darryl Green, man. you just see it. And there's not no good way how they celebrate.
Yeah. Really disappointing, Commanders. Just really disappointing. A real buzzkill for what was supposed to be a really, really great event.
He called that man family from down from Florida to come up to this game. That was that. Oh man, we gotta move on. That just made me upset, like to the fullest, man.
I'm with you, man. But I got another question for you.
What's up?
The Baltimore Ravens, despite their struggles,
Mm-hmm.
are 7-4.
Mm-hmm.
If you get on this road they call I-95, and you drive 30, 45 minutes south.
Oh no. I know where this is going.
There's this other team.
I know where this is going. You said South, right?
South.
Yeah, I'm not past them.
Who are 7-5.
Yeah, I'm driving past them.
They have a win over the undefeated Philadelphia Eagles. They started the year with Carson Wentz. Given this information, my question is, as of today, is Baltimore or Washington the better football team? The real choice.
I'm being biased. Go with the 4-1-0. No, on the for real. I think from looking at from each 53-man roster, I think the Ravens is built better than the Washington. Now I could give y'all defensive line is better than ours, and y'all wide receiver is better than ours. I give y'all those two things. I think our quarterback play, even with Heineke and Wentz, I still will go with Lamar. Not too familiar with your running backs. But I still think I would a healthy Dobbins and a healthy Gus Edwards. I would still take our running backs. Our tight ends, I think I would take our tight end over your tight end. Our offensive line, it's almost about the same. You know what I mean? I give y'all that because it both teams do give up some sacks sometimes. Like I said, I give y'all the defensive line. I think our linebackers is a little bit more solid than y'all's. I'm not too familiar with y'all DBs. That's like another downfall I don't know about y'all. But as far as DBs, we look good on paper, but I think y'all can at least get off the field better than us. If
Best
that makes
third down defense in the NFL.
All right, so we got to give to y'all DBs because, as I stated earlier, I think Peters has lost a step. All Pro Marlowe is taking a lot of beatings. Now that he's most definitely in that slot in that nickel DB position, and other DBs is not all that good, other than whenever Marcus Williams come back. Chuck Cup not bad, but sometimes he overplayed plays. So all in a nutshell, I still think that the Ravens has a better team. Um, from from almost top to bottom. Y'all got us on a couple of things. Like I said, I think, but well, overall, I think y'all defense is better than our defense. So offense wise, I think we got y'all. Defense wise, I'm gonna give it to y'all. Um, but I just feel like the Ravens are a more deeper playoff team than it is the Washington Commanders. Um, I uh, I just feel like the quarterback play is what's put us over top of y'all. At least 2 steps. Cause like I said, Heineke he's showing that he knows the position. He's showing that he can play. But you still wouldn't you wouldn't go with Heineke in the first round. But you will go with Lamar in the first round. Um so I just think that the Ravens are a better team. I just think that y'all division is a little bit better and more open than ours. Because right now it's just 2 teams versus y'all got all 4 teams in the playoff hunt right now. So um I just think if you put the Washington Commanders in a different division, I think they would struggle. I think they would struggle in the AFC. Let me say that. With bad quarterback play, I think Washington. So that's why I would give it to. Because I think if you put the Ravens even in the NFC, I think the Ravens would still be that middle of the playoff team. Um,
You think with y'all offense and our division, with our pass rushers and defense, you think Lamar is better in that situation?
I don't know then. You put in that because now that y'all come to think about it, y'all division is filled with defense. Because we lost to the Giants already, so you can clearly say we can't beat the Giants. Um, Philadelphia is clearly the better team, record wise and on paper. I think we could compete with the Cowboys because we just don't know which Cowboys team gonna show up.
Yeah.
Um, I said we can't beat the Giants, and I think the Ravens can beat the Commanders,
You can.
but I just don't think it's gonna be no walkover though. It ain't gonna be how it was in the preseason. I can safely say that because, like I said, the way our defense is set up, I can see Heineke hitting some of them passes and moving your offense downfield. So, it's almost safe to say it's like it's almost neck to neck play now. If you now that I sit here and talk myself more and more, it's almost neck to neck plays. It's like they almost like the same team. The only thing that separates us is quarterback play.
That's all I wanted.
Yeah, so we neck to neck.
Okay.
Ain't nobody's better than nobody, especially record wise. We clearly see, and at least y'all is able to. We on top of our division, but nobody counted y'all to be in y'all in this race. You know what I mean? Maybe except for the true Washington fans, but nobody really believed that it was going to be y'all and the Giants most definitely fighting for that playoff position, especially without a true quarterback.
That's fair. I do want to talk a little basketball before we get out of here. So my question for you is: we've seen a bunch of crazy stuff. I talked about the Kings. We've talked about the Lakers. Warriors have had some ups and downs. Dallas has had some ups and downs.
Man, they surprised me so far, but I ain't gonna talk bad about them just yet because I think this the same way they started last year almost.
So with all that being said, rookies included, who, or I'm sorry, what would you say has been your biggest surprise for this NBA season?
Um, my biggest surprise this NBA season is the softness of this whole league now. I don't know, like you said, if you've really been paying attention, have you seen like these ticky tack fouls refs starting to call? Players is getting more edgy and ready to kind of fight a little bit this year. The surprise team, well, the surprise, like I said, the refs is most definitely surprised because they call us some questionable calls this year so far. They call us some calls that shouldn't be flagrant fouls. You got some calls that you can just see just clearly flops and their names is getting them the calls. Um, I can tell you the one team that I'm not surprised, but I'm still kind of surprised. It's the New Orleans Pelicans. For them not to have Zion majority of this year, these guys are still out here balling. And that's my surprise team. That's my team that I'm gambling with this year. Is the New Orleans Pelicans. I think they're gonna go deep into the playoffs this year. I think they are a scary team whenever Zion do get back, but just to have Zion out the lineup and the way CJ McCollum and Brandon Ingram is keeping this team alive is just like I kind of starting to believe in the Pelicans. Um, and Coach Willie Green. I can't keep raving about him, man. Like this guy, Coach Willie Green, most definitely should be talked about on the upcoming coaches, or what I mean, talked about as a solidified good head coach because he got New Orleans down there balling.
No, I do. Obviously, I said it earlier. I picked New Orleans to make the playoffs, so I agree. For me, the biggest surprise has been the competition. I knew it would be competitive because it's always relatively competitive. But the Spurs have been competitive. The Jazz have been competitive.
Thunder.
The Thunder have been competitive. Even teams like Cleveland have excelled. The old regime, the Miamis and the old stalwarts of the East,
I don't know.
It's a little tougher.
Maybe except for Boston. Boston, like the only team that's, but Boston and Milwaukee, they is ball. They start to separate themselves early from a championship contention team already, and Boston is dealing with not having Umani Dover. It seems like that distraction has got vacuum cleaned up now. Now nobody's really talking about that as a distraction, and for the Bucks to not even have Chris Middleton back yet, and they still, being one of the top teams in the East, or top teams in the NBA period, and you're not full strength. Woo, that could be a little scary.
Yes, indeed. Just quick update. Pittsburgh is driving. They are down one, but they are in the red zone. They're actually inside the 10 now. Should be first and goal inside the 10. So, no, I agree with you. I definitely have liked what I've seen. I would say another surprise has been Chicago. Mike Hughes. Uh, I think if they don't get it together by New Year's, it might be time to go ahead and break it up, blow it up. We don't know when Lonzo's coming back. That's been
He's
really
done.
weird.
He's done. I think Lonzo's career is about to fade away like Jordan.
Oh man, they did a shovel pass to a lineman. That was risky. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know.
He just hurt every year now. Starting to
You
say
can't get back. You can't get back. Zach LaVine, him and DeRozan they were never going to be a fit. It was like Russ and LeBron. They're ball dominant players. It's not gonna work.
Zach LaVine, he always on the go. He don't know how to slow his game down just a little bit.
He's a phenomenal third option. I don't think he's a number 2 on a championship team.
Nah. Because if he go like a Golden State or something like that, he's most definitely not. He can't be number 1 and number 2. because he shoots too much. Like he shoot the time. I think at times that's one of Chicago's downfall. Number one, they don't have a true point guard. Like I like I can't get his name right now.
The sun move.
Yeah, I like him, but I don't think he's quite developed into a true point guard. He's a combo guard in my nature. Um, you need somebody that can control the offense. You need a Luka. I guess you could say a Chris Paul, or you need somebody that can control the offense, and that's what Chicago don't have. DeRozan, he can control it, but we already know once DeRozan get inside that free throw, that elbow part of that mid range, he shoot. You know what I mean? He's going to get here because he's now in his comfort zone. So we most definitely can see that, but they need somebody that like a LeBron or a Luca or a Jason Kidd type guard, something in that nature. And I think that's what Lonzo was giving them. That point guard that can play defense, grab rebounds, and he can see up court quick. So if Chicago can't find a guard like that, then yeah, it's time to blow it up.
Yeah. So we'll see what comes of it as the season evolves. Obviously, injury trades, all that. We would definitely keep you guys locked in. Should be good for Thursday. Hopefully, everybody enjoyed their Thanksgiving. We can get back onto our picks. Just a quick update of where we are in the year. Dev 22 and 24, Kenny 25 and 26. I am 32 and 20. Our division picks for the NFL, just quick update. We all had the Bills. That's going to be risky.
Hey, you ain't take Miami?
Nah, I didn't. I ain't believing no Tua.
Yeah.
In the AFC North, Chris and I have the Bengals. You and Kenny have the Ravens.
AFC, the Bengals too.
AFC South, all Colts except me as the Titans. I'm looking great. And AFC West, we all picked different teams. Kenny's looking the best, but you have the Chargers as well. NFC East, I had the Eagles. We all had the Eagles. Kenny had the Cowboys. NFC North, y'all had the Packers. I had the Vikings. NFC South, y'all got the Saints. I got the Bucks.
I hopped off that bandwagon, so don't say y'all. I hopped off.
And NFC West, we all had the Rams. Boy, there's that.
I got off that. Back door.
So I have, oh man, I had the Bucks coming out the NFC and the Chargers coming out the AFC. You had the Bills and Saints, so that's not gonna happen for sure. My Chargers Bucks is still hanging in there.
Back door.
Kenny still has Bills Rams. That's not looking
that ain't
good.
happening. Did Chris
touchdown Steelers.
Did Chris pick?
Yeah, Chris had Bills Rams. Bills Rams.
Well, I can say that it looked like your Super Bowl prediction is the only one that's still alive.
Chargers Bucks still got a shot. Still got a shot. So yeah, man, we'll see. We will continue to track things. We appreciate y'all for joining us here tonight. We should be back on Thursday. Assuming no other hiccups come into play, we should have a Thursday night game. Hopefully, this game actually has been okay. It's not been
that bad. It's not that great, but
it's okay.
At least we had like a Thursday night game when it was like 3-3.
Yeah. None of that mess. But man, we appreciate y'all. Y'all have a great one, and we will see y'all later.
All sports, all plays.